After trading for him yesterday, the Memphis Grizzlies are trading Patrick Beverley to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Jarrett Culver and Juancho Hernan-Gomez. So, deal here, but also a little bit interesting. If I talk about the Wolves first, they've obviously given up on Jarrett Culver, which I mean isn't unreasonable. I think after a bad rookie season, they just didn't really give him the minutes this year, and it just felt like it was never going to work after they drafted him 6th overall. But, obviously sucks to have missed on such a high pick that they traded up to get. And then Juancho Hernan-Gomez, I mean, he just wasn't a player who fit super well with the Wolves, especially being that he isn't a very good defender, which is sort of what the Wolves have needed for the past couple years. So if I talk about Beverley on the Wolves now, I think he's the Ricky Rubio replacement who they traded away for Taurean Prince. And between Beverley and Prince, they have gotten better marginally defensively this offseason. I just don't really think it's been enough. I think they probably need, one or two more very good defensive players. I think Beverley, whether he's starting or whether he's backing up Russell, Edwards, Beasley, whoever the starting Wolves guards are, I think he will provide some defense. The defensive intensity, the running after every loose ball, the pestering of the opponents, which, might just be something this Timberwolves team need. We'll see if they're in a different place from when Jimmy Butler was there, whether Beverley's influence is different than Butler's, because obviously the Butler situation didn't go great with, obviously the clash between him and Towns. Maybe with Beverley, everyone will know he's not the best player. There won't be that sort of conflict, and people will just buy in from him being the first guy pressing defensively. So I think defensively it could be good. I think Beverley, he also has the ability to guard shooting guards, bigger guards, that sort of thing, which could be helpful. It might actually be where he's best, at this age, losing a bit of quickness. He is also on an expiring deal. It's $14.3 million, but it's an expiring, so they haven't locked themselves long term into anything. I think offensively, I think he sort of fits pretty well in that he can throw an entry pass to Karl-Anthony Towns and then go stand in the corner. But I looked at his shooting numbers. He's actually like a 38% three-point shooter for the past couple years, which is a little bit crazy because you don't really consider him a very good three-point shooter. But I think the caveat of that has to be that most of them are pretty wide open. So if he's taking his 3-4 threes a game, probably from the corner, if you can throw an entry pass to Karl-Anthony Towns, and they start their horns offense. They had some good stuff going last year between Edwards and Towns, playmaking from the elbow or the post, players running off of that, getting 3-point shots. Under their new coach, Finch, I think the offense was certainly better, and I think with another year playing together, hopefully an Anthony Edwards step up, I think being a very good offensive team and trying to be, at least a respectable defensive team is their way to the play-in, even though that's pretty unlikely, in my opinion, just because of how good the West is. So I think Beverley fits pretty well on both ends of the court. He's not a massive upgrade just because he's not that great, but if he's playing hard defensively and, isn't a total, I don't think he'll mess up their offense just because teams sort of have to respect him a little bit. Obviously, the worst case scenario is the personalities clash. Defensively, he's just pressing, and then they throw the guy he's pressing throws the ball to someone else, and the rest of the defense is just totally chilled. And he's pressing for no reason. And then offensively, the shooting, he's missing those wide open threes, and they're able to ignore him and double Towns, but we'll see. Okay, for the Grizzlies now, I think it really just depends on, if they can revive Jarrett Culver. I think it's certainly worth the risk, especially given that he's $6 million this year, and then next year, $8 million team option. So really low risk. I think there is still some potential in Jarrett Culver. He was obviously great in college, had that great, I think, Final Four run with Texas Tech. I think they made it all the way to the championship game. And there, where he was probably at his best, I think he was doing more of the ball handling and more of a point guard, whereas with the Wolves, he's been more of an off-ball player. So maybe if he comes off the bench, he can get he can handle the ball a little bit more and be able to play make, because I think that is somewhere he can be effective, because he's just been terrible his first 2 years in the NBA, if I haven't said that already. But yeah, I still do believe there is at least a little something there. I think the big thing has to be the shooting, because so far in his NBA career, 29% three-point shooter, 41% from the field, from the free throw line, 50%. So all those numbers have to go up. I think, if you can get the three ball down, then there is a little bit of 3-and-D potential, because he is still a good defender. If I look to this year, his rookie year, his steal and block numbers are still pretty good for the amount of minutes he plays. He's able to get in passing lanes. He's 6'6", so he's pretty long and can be a disruptive player defensively, which is something that I'm sure the Grizzlies will like. But yeah, it just depends on the shooting, shooting more efficiently from three, getting to the rim more, and being willing to get to the free throw line and draw free throws. I think that's sort of the biggest thing for him, because if he's not good offensively, then you can't really justify having him in there defensively. So yeah, I think that's sort of the biggest thing with Culver. We'll just see. I think he's still only 22, so I don't think he's done, but I think, he's going to need to fix some things. And if it's not this year, then $8 million next year on a team option, the Grizzlies might just decline that. As for Juancho Hernangomez, I mean, you'd hope that he's sort of like a three-point shooter who doesn't shoot great from three. You'd hope that his percentages, if he's shooting 37-38% from three, then he could be a guy who can back up Jarrett Jackson Jr. and give them some three-point shooting, which is sort of a need for the Grizzlies. And then you just hope that he buys in a little bit more defensively, that he's not total toast on that end, and that the Grizzlies can justify him playing him offensively. So yeah, for the Grizz, I think this it's a very low cost, because they get off Eric Bledsoe, now they get off Patrick Beverley and get Jarrett Culver, who you never know, maybe they'll be able to revive him. Grizzlies is a good situation. And then they also get Hernangomez, who can maybe provide some three-point shooting. So I think this is a decent trade for both teams. Maybe both teams get a B+ or something like that. We'll just have to see what happens. I think the Grizzlies will win the trade if Jarrett Culver turns into something, and the Wolves will win it if he doesn't. But anyways, thanks for watching this video, guys. Leave a like, subscribe to this channel for more NBA content, and I'll see you guys next time.